Welcome in. Southside Connection with you. I'm Ed Lane. It's Brad Meeks with us here. High school football is finally back. Scrimmage action this past weekend. 7-all tie between William Fleming and Martinsville. Magna Vista 3 touchdowns to 2. Victorious over William Byrd. It did not always look that easy. And Patrick County's game against Dan River was postponed. We will get to those in just a little bit, but we'll start off, Brad, with what was our game of the week. 12-0 was the final during the 12-minute time segment. Bassett actually tallied 4 additional touchdowns, offensively and defensively, each getting a pair. I just want your general impressions on the Bengals' effort against Blacksburg.
Well, Bassett looked good. They came out for a first scrimmage of the season. You expect them to be a little bit rusty, which they were. Their pass defense lacked a little bit. However, there were a few key interceptions, which tightened it up towards the end. And the quarterback play, Mackenzie Lawson struggled a bit at times with the pressure, and Deshaun Valentine seemed to cope with the pressure a little bit more. But overall, for a first time seeing this Bassett Bengal team, they look pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. I mean, there are things that are certainly promising. One thing that stood out to me was big playability. We saw Deshaun Valentine pick a pass off and take it 50 yards to the house. Trey Ross also had an interception that he returned for a touchdown. And we saw big plays galore from this Bassett team. I think that's one positive they can look forward to.
Yeah, and we also saw Eddie Bowman had about a 60-yard touchdown run. So at times, Blacksburg's offense were able to hold this offense for, a stretch of maybe 5 or 6 plays. And then, as you mentioned, Bassett would all of a sudden break a big playoff, which broke the game open. Man.
Yeah, it certainly did. I think the one thing for Bassett is when the big play is taken away. They've got a very tough non-district schedule. Patrick Henry, they open with Carroll County. They're never easy, always well coached. Patrick Henry, a AAA school whose quarterback has agreed to go to Tech next year, and it only gets more challenging after that. What can they do between now and their opener against Carroll County to get down the consistency, especially without the big play?
Well, they need to figure out the quarterback play. They need to figure out if Mackenzie Lawson is going to be the guy going forward, or if Deshaun Valentine. We saw both of them play pretty much a lot in that first scrimmage. Also, the defense, the run defense looked very good, as I mentioned earlier. The pass defense was a little bit suspect. If they shore that part up, and then they get their quarterback play situated and are able to put together a mediocre passing game at best, as we saw their run game was good. So if they put at least an average passing game up, they should be able to be pretty well balanced going forward to this season.
Well, certainly one of those key cogs is Bassett quarterback Deshaun Valentine, who actually is also a fullback on this year's team. Our own Brad Meeks, who is right here, had a chance to chat with Deshaun after the contest.
Hey, with Deshaun Valentine of Bassett. Deshaun, how satisfied are you with your performance today?
Well, I could have played better, but we got a lot of work to do. But at the end of the day, we win, and I feel like I played pretty decent. But as a senior, I got to step it up and help my team.
Going into the season, you're listed as the starting fullback. Do you look to, play more quarterback, more fullback? What do you look to do this year?
Well, I was hoping to play fullback, but it turned out that I'm going to have to play quarterback because that's what the team needs me to play. And I think I can help the team out more right there.
You said you can help the team out more right there. Is it just something you feel like you can do better? You can throw the ball better, or you can, run the option better than Lawson, or is it just all-around performance?
I don't want to put him down, but I just feel like he can't handle the pressure that we're getting off the edges, and I feel like I can get away faster than he can.
What all does the team need to do, like going into next week and then the week after that to the regular season to get better?
Practice hard, man. Get ready. Just get all the games out the head and just get ready to play some football. We got a long season ahead of us. It's my last year. I'm trying to do big things with the team.
How far do you think this team can go?
Well, we haven't won district in 3 years, so we're going to start by winning district first.
Big thanks to our own Brad Meeks for catching up with quarterback Deshaun Valentine after the game. He saw some snaps there and also in the fullback position. When he mentioned, by the way, this is one of my pet peeves in the media, he said he thought that he could handle the pressure they and Mackenzie Lawson better with the rushing defensive ends. And in the media, so often, it drives me nuts. there'll be one little snippet. Oh, I can handle the pressure better than he can. But you didn't include the fact that it was from the defensive ends, which makes sense because Valentine, his strongest asset is his athleticism, whereas Mackenzie Lawson is a little bit more, I would say, cerebral. But I think it does bring up a good point. This is the first time Lawson's lined up under center. How much has that impacted his performance, at least early on, now having to not only see it, but process it in a very quick amount of time?
I think it's affected it a lot. As Deshaun, unlike McKenzie, Deshaun has been Bass's starting quarterback for the last 2 seasons, so Deshaun knows what to expect. Mackenzie Lawson, this was his first competition as a starting quarterback against varsity competition. It's a very different game than the JV level. So as McKenzie, as the season goes on and McKenzie gets more reps, I expect him to become more comfortable and be able to read those defenses and see the pressure coming for him.
Well, I think one thing that I'm looking for, Brad, is that I want to see how Mackenzie Lawson handles it, especially in the next couple of days, because they've got a benefit game against Richlands on Friday. That's on the road. We know that that stadium can be awe-inspiring, much less the product that they put out on the field. What can he do, if nothing else, to not make mistakes? Because, I mean, to me, that's got to be the first responsibility of a quarterback.
Well, it helps now that he has his first game under his belt, and they have game tape of it. He can look at what he did wrong, and he can, study the game film and learn how to better himself. And as these few days go on, he needs to be hanging out with the coaches. He needs to be making sure he can do everything in his will to make himself better, as I know he wants to be the starting quarterback, and the only way to continue being a starting quarterback in the Piedmont District is to improve.
Well, Coach Jay Gilbert has certainly alluded to that, and the fact that they might even utilize 2 separate guys at quarterback, depending on each particular situation in the formations they elect to utilize. When we come back on Southside Connection, we'll chat a little bit more about what we saw in the other preseason scrimmages from the Piedmont District, and our own Ryan Stone will even stop by as well to look ahead to our game this coming weekend, the benefit Magna Vista at Dan River. We're back after this on the Neighborhood Network.